What is up, everybody? Today we are going to be doing a tier list for Rainbow Six Siege for solo queue operators. So basically, we're going to be talking about how productive, how much you're going to win while playing certain operators while you're solo queue. When we say solo queue, basically you're not going to be able to coordinate with teammates as well as you potentially could as a 5-stack. So teams that are operators that are more, you can get away with just by being by yourself. So we're going to go to the tier list for you. If you're solo queue, you're going to win more with these operators. So let's go through it. Thermite is going to be a C tier. Thermite is horrible for solo queue. It is very hard to get things off the wall when you're a Thermite if you're not communicating very well with your team. So Thatcher as well. I'm going to Thatcher the B tier because at least you can disable some utility on your own, and both those guns are solid. So A. Sledge, easy S tier. Amazing gun, good entry ability, shot destruction, grenades. I mean, you can do whatever you need to do with Sledge. Like, you're going to be good to go. Let's go to a hard breach real quick. Ace is S tier solo queue. You have a good gun, you can throw things on the wall, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and you're never really in danger. So Ace is a really good solo queue operator. Hibana, a little bit better than Therm, but Hibana is more like, it is a harder hard breach to use, and you're more for hatches, and it's going to be hard to roam clear on your own. I feel like Ace is going to be the superior in terms of I can shoot while also opening walls operator. So Smoke, easy S tier. Yeah, Smoke is just a good denial. Like, you have shotgun for rotates, you have SMG-11. Everyone say hi to YouTube. Wait at YouTube real quick. Everyone say hi. SMG-11, shotgun, denial, everything's solid about Smoke. Then with Mute, I mean, deny the intel, you have a shotgun, you have a nitro, you have an SMG-11. All these ops are always good in any situation. You got some Ash. Ash, I'm going to put Ash at the B tier. Good gun, good entry ability, but your ability isn't going to kill anybody, but you do have soft destruction that you can, you get a little bit done. Castle, definite C tier. Castle in the solo queue land is usually pretty bad. A lot of people don't know how to play around a castle in solo queue. You're thrusting a strat upon people randomly that aren't going to be able to interact well with the strat. It can still work. Granted, C tier doesn't necessarily mean that they're horrible. It's just like Castle, like the only time I really use it is like on Bank. Like Castle's, I'm gonna play him a bit on Bank, but any other map, I'm probably not gonna touch him. Solo queue specifically. Pulse. Who would place Pulse in the B tier? You might be able to sneak out a nitro, and in that first pick is going to help your team out a lot. Sledge S tier. Sledge is S tier in every tier list I can think of. Sledge is good. We got a little bit of Twitch. What up, Muna? Appreciate the red. How we doing? This is a solo queue operator tier list on how good an operator is in solo queue with minimal teamwork and team comms. So think the console players as well as, I mean, most of the people that play PC. So Twitch, I'm gonna play Switch in the B tier. Good gun. Your drone is going to be able to do a little bit, but if you can't make your drone useful, you really are just kind of walking around with no utility with an F2. F2 is fun, but yeah. Little old Mozzie in solo queue is going to be some hot garbage. If you can't coordinate with your team, this is not an operator that you should realistically pick. Same with the Blitz. Solo queue land, I mean, you really can't play these up. I mean, you can get some mileage out of them sometimes, but overall, you're best off just steering clear completely. Doc, easy A tier on the solo queue. Almost an S tier. Low key. We're placing it. Doc doesn't have any like excess utility. You can make rotates. You have heals, which are awesome, and you have good guns with the 1.5 scope. Like, Doc is just amazing up and fun to play. So yeah, I kind of want to put him in an S, but these guys have a little bit better utility on like actually winning the round overall. So Rook, definitely a lot worse than the Doc. I'm placing Rook at the C tier. Good gun, you have impacts, but Doc definitely brings a little bit more to the table with the bailiff and the heals in my eyes. So with J tier, Sledge J tier, nah, not for solo queue. No, you run into a mute with a Twitch and you can't really do anything. What are you doing? You just have an F2 walking around. With Bailiff Doc now S tier. I feel like Doc is an S tier. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns on that because I just saw that. I feel like Doc is a S tier solo queue operator. Call me crazy. Blaz, a little bit of C tier. Could get some mileage in, but a little bit harder to get mileage in. So Fuse, I'm gonna put Fuse at the D tier. Your solo queue is Fuse, like you're not killing anybody with your Fuse charges. You're not doing anything relevant. You're just always getting flanks. Like it's just not worth it. It's not worth the time. D tier is it's just not worth the time. Capkin, oh, easily A tier without even thinking about it. S tier though, I'm gonna place Capkin at the A tier. I'm not gonna put him above the A tier, but A tier is. I feel like A tier is fine for Capkin, but traps that kill people, good 1-5 scope, and you have a nitro. I mean, actually, look, Captain's got an an S tier. Like solo queue, like Captain is always fun. You get a lot of mileage out of him, and you're probably dropping some bodies. Never bad. Rank you, I'm champion. Tachanka in the D tier. Just don't even bother. I'm not even gonna say anything else. This is a tier list for solo queue players. This is solo queue. Playing solo queue can't rely on team comms very well. Jaeger's gonna be an A tier. He's the first A tier operator. Normally Jaeger's an S tier, but if people aren't playing around with your ADSs, sometimes you just don't get a lot of mileage out of the ADS charges. So your gun is good. Gun is good, but you don't have excess utility other than that. So Jaeger's gun is good though. ADS, if your team is playing smart, is great, but it doesn't happen a lot. Dude, S tier? Yeah, no. IQ, D tier, IQ, buns. But SenVale, solos is strong now. You can find solos with IQ. Yeah, only when she's using her gadget. So I've never once seen an IQ counter a solos, really. So anyways, let's talk about solos. Solos, I'm gonna play Solas at the A tier. Solas super, definitely strong. Doesn't bring a lot of excess utility, but in terms of the roam game, Solas is one of the strongest roamers of the game currently. Like your ability to do runouts and know what flanks are being watched is just super good. Solas could be considered an S tier, but I just don't feel like she has enough utility overall. I feel like Solas functions a little bit better on a team of players. So Bandit is a C tier. You might be able to bandit something, but you're not bandit tricking while you're solo. You're just always gonna die. I just never seen a solo player like bandit trick successfully and live. So yeah, she's S tier with team. I agree. Ayana, up with that sledge. You got grenades. You got a good gun. You're a good duelist. You get your frags. Hey. That's just definitely not an S tier. Not in solo queue land. Hell no. No way. Instead of judging, guys, maybe ask what type of tier list this is. This is not a normal tier list. Buck. I'll place Buck in the A tier. Buck can be a good, I mean, you have a heart breach. You've got a gun 6. Skeleton key for soft breach. You have a good gun. I mean, Buck kind of brings a little bit of everything to the table. So you get a lot of mileage out of Buck in any kind of capacity. So Frost. Oh yeah. I like my Frost. That 1-5 scope is great. You have a shotgun to make rotates. You have a shield. You can set the sight. And when people summon your Frost mats, you get a free kill. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Blackbeard, not a D tier. Blackbeard is actually not as bad as a lot of. I've seen a lot of people play Blackbeard recently, and he is not D tier with EMPs. He can function like Thatcher in a capacity, and on the wall, he is extremely strong on a wall. So Blackbeard, you guys are gonna be like, that's a little controversial, SenVale. I'm gonna place Blackbeard like more like up in the B tier range, like even in solo queue. Like it's you're gonna rip heads off. So I could probably place it higher, but people are gonna be real mad if I do. So I'm just leave it B tier right now. I would probably place him probably the A tier. Valkyrie, don't even need to think about it. Even with people not watching on cameras, like you guys saw me play Valk earlier today. Those of you, Valkyrie's just strong. Like even if you're solo, I can just like plan out a nitro kill every single round. Like every round, I can plan out a nitro kill in some capacity. Kind of like Pulse, but Valkyrie, I feel like I can predict it a little bit more because I can like kind of gather how they're playing based on how they're moving. But I can see them. Capital. What plays Capital has a little bit going on. He does have the hard breach charge, smokes, fires. I feel like he could be more of a B tier. He does have quite a bit of utility and like Swiss Army knife methods of being able to push past people or push through them. So you can see you could keep the B tier. 0 is C tier. He's not gonna be above this. No way. People aren't gonna watch your cameras. So your camera is already losing a lot of effectiveness. You have no pushing power, which is required in solo queue. You're basically a baiter. And if your team goes down, then you're just outside by yourself. So 0 can get mileage, like in place of D tier. But I feel like he's very weak. He does have a gun 6. This is good. Good gun. But cameras are a little lackluster. This is solo queues. 0 is a team operator to his core. Like, he's definitely not in any capacity a solo queue operator. No way. No way. Maverick A tier? Hell no. Maverick right now, especially in solo queue? Hell no. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. But SenVale, I can open a wall. SenVale, I can do this, I can do that. You aren't gonna do that. The gun is iffy sometimes. And you don't have grenades anymore. There's just so many better options than bringing Maverick. Just bring EMP impacts if you have a hard breach on your team. Just bring EMP impacts. Come on. Make it easy. People shoot your cams instantly. Yeah, your cameras aren't gonna get a lot of mileage. Flores? A tier. You can destroy a lot of utility. You have a gun, and you have impact. Flashbangs. You have flashbangs. You can destroy a lot of utility to be able to push through aggressively. And you have flashbangs to actually do that push. Brings a lot to the table. Could be S tier, but not S tier because solo queue and the mute does exist. If you run into that or Mozzie, it is a little bit harder to clear out all of sight. Grim D tier. Grim is just fucking garbage. Sorry, but so bad. So bad. Grim, the Bs are horrible. The only redeeming quality of Grim is that he's a 3-speed. Only redeeming quality. You're fast, therefore you can make plays. I would argue you can make plays as other operators that are fast as well. I do like playing Grim sometimes, like on Cafe, but it just never really super high clutch anywhere else. Sens, the smokes are just bad. You can impact the smokes. You can nitro the smokes. There's so many ways of countering Sens's smokes versus normal smokes that just don't go away when you impact or nitro them. Speaking of which, let's talk about an operator that's kind of like Sens. Ging. Yeah, just kidding. You thought I was gonna put Ging at D tier? Are you high? Ging is an obvious A tier, especially as you have a hard. Ging has a hard breach charge. You have a lot of pushing power with those Candelas, and you have a really good gun. I'm not sure people realize Ging's LMG does 46 damage. Like, this gun is crazy good. Ging is good. Knock, S tier, don't even need to think about it. You have grenades, you can sneak around and basically just dumpster people, especially when they're not ready for you. Ging is an easy S tier. Oh yeah, no. Grim is by far the worst person in this entire... In fact, I'm going to save him a little special spot as the last one in D tier. He is in a special place in hell. So I was trying to make another... Whatever. Grim is D tier. Like, he's the worst there. Mira, A tier. The Mirs are great, but there are ways to counter you with your Mirs, and there are a lot of times where you might want some backup, and when you're in solo queue land, sometimes you just don't get it. So, I think A tier, because I feel like that's safe for me, yeah. Mira's still really strong, but definitely doesn't feel like an S tier when you're playing Mira in solo queue. That's kind of what I'm going off. How this operator feels while I'm in solo queue. The zombie, still an S tier. Like, you can just do so much with the zombie. Like, the low Q team, it doesn't matter. The zombie's just so strong. The zombie's just so strong. Yeah, Grim doesn't even get a 1.5 scope. Grim just got shafted. Cavera, you can get some mileage out of the Cavera sometimes. I've seen people go off with Cavera. And solo Q land, I mean, Cavera's fun, which at the end of the day, That's half the battle. If you're having fun, you're usually playing well. And Cavera is just fun to play. Like, you can argue that Cavera is the worst operator in this lineup here, sure. But I've seen people go off with Cavera more than I've seen them not go off with Cavera. So I feel bad placing Cavera in D tier because this feels like a solo queue operator that is fun to play in solo queue. I like playing Cav, but I don't play Cav much because I do feel like I'm throwing sometimes. So, yeah. And if you always just follow the meta to a T, especially when you're not really playing as a team, you're going to lose. Sometimes you just gotta get crazy, and it'll work. Legion, S tier. I mean, Legion is one of my favorite operators on defense. Like, do I need to explain why? Here. T5. T5 is one of the best guns of the game on defense. You have impacts, which gives you a lot of mobility. You have mines that you can throw all over the place. You have a ton of them, so people can't rat. And that is a strong tool to have. Even in comp, people cannot rat up to you. They have to go through your mines or deal with them in some capacity. They either shoot them or they hit them. If they shoot them, at least you have an audio that they shot it, so you know. If they hit it, you have a lot more audio, and they have a thing in their leg that slowly hurts them, which probably not going to do any significant damage, but they can't run, they can't sprint, and if you want to get really aggressive, when they have a mine in their leg, it is a really easy firefight to win half the time. So, I think that's smart. You usually do pretty good. Mozzie, A tier, good on the roam, good gun, and nitro. There are better options. I feel I kind of want to shift Mozzie down, but I'm going to leave Mozzie at the A tier because he does provide a little bit of that intel denial like mute, and in solo queue, like, I'm assuming you're probably going to be playing against a lot of solo queue players as well. Intel denial is king. So, well, IQ is good against Legion. If you're bringing IQ to counter Legion, you do not understand Rainbow Six Siege. You do not understand it. Because while you are shooting those goos on the ground, someone is swinging your ass, and you have a pistol out. With IQ would be a lot better if she could trigger her ability like Jackal, like a scanner over her face, and she could still use her primary gun. Then we might talk that IQ could be a little bit higher. The fact that you have to bring your pistol out, IQ is just ass. And you cannot, because IQ has to use her ability in a section where she is completely safe and cannot be pushed by anybody. And if you do, if you use it out in the scary land, you're going to die. You can see goo mines without IQ. Yeah, you have to look for it. And when you're looking at the ground, you're not looking up at where someone's going to kill your ass. So, Echo, solo queue, still beats here. You can give out some decent intel. You have a good gun. And you're a 2-speed now, so you can maneuver around the map however you want. So, being able to be the guy with the intel in solo queue, I mean, maybe if nobody else is talking, whatever. But if you're the one talking, giving out intel, I guarantee people are going to start listening, especially if you're just like, hey, there's one top square, push you top square. Well, there's one in stock. They're doing a square take. One is opening up the wall. They're going for a plant. They're planting on ping. They're going to plant on ping. Plant behind the desk. Like, you know, you're going to win more matches. Jackal, especially in solo queue, A tier for sure. You have a lot. I'm going to say A tier because you don't really have. Nah, I gotta do this. I'm sorry. The Jackal and the Doke are S tier. It's in solo queue land. You have good gun. I mean, Jackal has an amazing gun. Doke has an okay gun. An SMG 11, an SMG 12 backup. Sorry. Jackal, secondary shotgun for self destruction, and he has an ability to find anybody that is running around, wherever they're at. Doke can do the same thing, but I feel like Doke's ability is better than Jackal's overall because I don't have to find your feet. I just scan everybody, and like anyone that's halfway decent at this game, those audio calls off of Doke is extremely easy to clear everybody. You can roam clear by yourself with either of these two ops very easily. Either of these two ops, very easy to roam clear the entire map. Zof is a little bit harder, honestly, because of that 3 armor, but I'm gonna put it at the A tier. Zofia is at the A tier. Not about B tier, maybe, but that armor does hurt, but good gun, concussions, 2 of them, and 2 impacts. Like, you have a lot of soft clear and room clear, as well as ADS denial. So you have a lot going on with this. I still consider Zof an entry, but those 3 armors really hurt Sledge and Zof. That still allows grenades though that can kill people. Ella, I just don't see Ella used very often. That gun is tough, and the prox alarms, you only have 3 of them. If you had more, maybe, or if they did more, like I'll hit an Ella mine and still win a firefight half the time. Like that gun is just rough to use. Vigil, just another operator that's like kind of like Cavi. It's just you're running around. If you don't win your firefight, you're just dead. Good gun, impact, so good mobility, but you pick Vigil, you're not on site. You're running around the map, usually. And if you go, I mean, you might not have backup. You might just go down easy. Nomad, easy A tier. Not quite S because you don't have any real pushing power. You have flank watch, but if you can't get inside the building, you are going to see a wall that forms. Like, you're going to have to walk through a door that's being watched, and you just don't have any way of dealing with it. That's one of the reasons why I stopped playing Nomad when I was in solo queue or playing with a bunch of random people. I usually always play with someone with grenades because I can just either grenade someone to the floor, I can clear something, I can do a lot of things with grenades. Nomad, I only have air depth. I can only hold something back, but even then, it's like it doesn't do like it's really tough in solo. Line A tier, line A tier because EMPs. He is another function of Thatcher. And that ability is really nice when you are making a move on somebody. Let's say you drone them, and then you scan his line. They cannot move from that spot as you swing them. It is really good in an entry position. And you do have EMPs to help open the wall. And a good gun. So, I feel like line is definitely in that A tier range, personally. Finka, C tier. Finka is just but I know console players that she's better on console, but she can be good, but her guns are really hard to use. The heals are really always nice. The heals are always nice to have, but her guns are rough. They're real bad. Maestro. I'm gonna play the Maestro with the detail. You do have a bailiff to set up the site, and a pretty good gun, but you have 3 armor. You have to rely on your teammates to keep them back, and you can only have 2 cams, and your cams can't move ever. They can shoot enemies, but I just feel like there's so many better options than being Maestro in solo queue. I just don't think that's bad. I'm sorry, I just don't think that's a good option. No. Oh yeah, Lion does have a Gon 6. You're right. So that is another plus for Lion. Alibi. It's gonna be an easy S tier. You have a good gun. You have a shield for your teammates, and you have a bailiff to set up the site, so you can run around and do whatever you want. And you set up the site. So you're leaving your teammates in a good position, or you can just hold the site yourself, and you're in a good position with a good gun. So, nothing really bad to say about Alibi. There's lots bad to say about Clash. That's why you heard me hesitate there. Clash is horrible. There's no way to size it. Clash is horrible. You have horrible guns. You have a big shield that keeps people back. But if no one's helping you, you just die. So, you're really crossing your fingers that someone's going to help you. So, Kade, A tier. You can deny walls very easily as Kade. The guns are a little hard to use. You do have a nitro, but very easy to use, Kade. Very easy, and also always strong. Gridlock, worst flank watch in the game, but still can get a little bit of mileage. Her guns are pretty good. You ever sleep on Ella's gun? Probably. I probably am, but I've never seen anyone halfway decent play Ella. Ever. In like the last 6 months of playing Champion Elo and FPL. So whenever I try to play Ella, like that gun is just hard to use. And it's a pea shooter. Warden. We're gonna place Warden at the 8s here. This is gonna be a lot controversial to some of you guys, but Nitro, you can't get flash, you can hold side of the site. Anyone that smokes, you get a freebie. And you're just an active engager the entire time with the 1.5 scope. Actually, I gotta place Warden though, right? Like you just don't have enough. You don't have enough utility. A lot of times you don't even use your gadget. So half the time I see someone get flashed as Warden, I have to tell them that, hey, bro, you're Warden. Use your ability. So good gun, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. Amaru can make crazy good plays sometimes, and you have a hard breach charge and a G8 with a scope. But really, really it's dependent on where you guys are, like what map you're on, because sometimes Amaru is just not great. Warden's got, like, I feel like Warden is really great. Warden is good. Warden is good, but I can't justify Warden being higher than B, especially in solo queue. Like, I just can't. Goyo, A tier, good gun, nitro, and your traps are very easy for your teammates to use. It's very obvious how the Goyos work. You shoot the red canister when enemies are close. So, Callie in solo queue is going to be a C tier. Not going to be able to have much utility out of the Callie, but you can have some. Like, Callie is still a pretty good operator. Gun one taps anybody, decent backup, and you can destroy any type of utility that you run into with your ability. Wamai, again, I'm gonna place Wamai at the S tier instead over the Jaeger, because you have impacts. You have this you can throw on the fly wherever you're at, and a good gun. You have extra utility that Jaeger doesn't have, and Jaeger's ability requires someone's playing around his gadget. Wamai, you can throw it wherever you want. You can be mobile. It's a lot easier to use in a solo queue environment, personally. So I feel. Oryx, set up the site, run around, shoot them out with the best gun in the game on defense. I would argue that the T5 with a scope currently is the best gun on defense. You guys are trying to convince me that I'm wrong, but you're probably not going to be able to. Mozzie, a 3 armor beast. It's really nice to keep people out of the sight and slow them down. But Mozzie with the MP5 without a scope, 3 armor with impact, it feels like it's a little lacking when you're playing the operator. The gadget is good, but the operator just feels like it's lacking a lot. You're definitely more utility heavy than you are operator. So, Bruni, A tier, DMR on defense, baby, and gates to slow down on the attackers or deny some utility. So, Thunderbird. I'm gonna place Thunderbird at the beats here. Can't get a lot of utility out of the spear, as well as their backup bearing on with their weapons. Nitro's nice, and the heals, I mean, no one's really gonna say like, oh, you're Thunderbird, wow, you're throwing. No, Thunderbird's always fine to bring, but I definitely feel like Doc outperforms Thunderbird in terms of healing and utility site setup, as well as guns. I mean, Doc has a scope. Thunderbird does not. Thunderbird's gun is arguably better than Doc's guns, but does not have a scope. Osa, B tier, Osa. Sometimes you just are just going to be behind your shield, and you're just not going to be able to push in more without help. And you can't count on help. It's solo queue tier list, remember? So, and you have EMP impacts. EMP impacts are always nice to be able to open up a wall with a teammate, but again, we're really hoping that there's a teammate there to help you open that wall. We're crossing our fingers on that, aren't we? Hoping. I feel like you are just a little bit too baity sometimes. I don't know if you guys have played Osa in solo, but a lot of times you're just kind of outside a breach behind a shield, and you're not able to do anything. So, Thorn's abilities. I mean, her gun is kind of mid. You can kill somebody with it, but it really just forces people out of positions. And you have a really good gun, so you have a really good primary weapon and a really good secondary, so get to shooting, baby. And you have a shield for your teammates, so always nice. All right, guys, here's the solo queue tier list. Also appreciate that sub, Tony. How we doing tonight? Here's the solo queue tier list. Thoughts? Who should move up or down? Where should they move? How is it? Who would you change? Who would you move? Remember, this is based on solo queue, your ability to play by yourself in a solo queue environment with very minimal team comms to your teammates. This is my list. Your ability to effectively win more matches, kill more people, and rank up more. Playing S tier, working their way down. So this is terrible. Let's say solo queue tier list stacks. If you want the normal operator tier list, it'll be down in the description down below for you guys on YouTube. But it'll be on the YouTube for those of you that are watching on Twitch. All right, guys. But yeah, leave it down below the comments down below that what ops would you change? Which direction would you go? And explain why. Don't just say, SenVale, you dumb. I Thermite S tier. Cause. Tell me why. I was Thermite an S tier operator where you have to place your utility on a wall in a very dangerous situation and open the wall with maybe potentially something on the wall to deny you. You're very exposed. You're probably going to die almost all the time, and you're not really going to be able to do too much. So, okay. But yeah, make sure to leave that down in the comments below. If you guys see you guys on Twitch just going at it, but you guys need to hit up that YouTube video to change my mind.